Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vaidya's Chess Hub. I hope you are home and you are safe. And time for us to play a game, a slow game, an instructive game. I welcome all those who are here, and slowly and steadily we'll have more people joining in. Rayansh has joined us, and Manas Hope has just joined us. Granth is here. Well, wonderful. I'm really happy. Guys, all the people here saying hi, hello, good evening. Of course, bunch of lions is here as well. And YouTube, I don't know why it does that, but it's showing that I already started. But in fact, I'm starting out right now. Okay, so let's get straight onto the game, and we are going to go for a slow game. As usual, we will go ahead and find out if there is any suitable challenger in the lobby. If not in the lobby, then we will go for quick pairing. 15 plus 15. Well, that's a time control we've not played in a long time. They changed it, so I believe that this will be interesting. Our opponent is again 1923, and this is, well, before I make the move, I hope that you know the name of the defense here. Hello, Avnish. Welcome all of you. So what is the name of this opening, guys? Avnish is here. Well, and who else? I think Aryan Patil is here. It is indeed the oven defense. It's amazing. That is correct. Very good. So the point of this oven defense is that he's going to definitely fianchetto the bishop. This is called fianchetto the bishop, fianchettoing the bishop. So if he is not playing for the center, as usual, I always like to play for the center. If he is not playing for the center, why shouldn't we? Always pay attention to opponent's last move. How often do I say that? Always pay attention to the opponent's last move. Our opponent has played bishop b7, clearly attacking, and there is this way, then there is what other way? There is this way. Well, there are a lot other ways as well. I suppose there is this as well, and then there is this as well. So there are many ways. However, of all the ways, I have always believed that knight c3 is good. It's a very good thing. Knight c3 works very well. So let's go ahead and execute knight c3. So I am now providing defense for my pawn, and our opponent has attacked the pawn twice now, and we are defending it once. So it is right time for us to bring another piece into the game. So we have also defended it twice, and our opponent has attacked it twice. And now our opponent has played e6. Now you should notice such things, guys. Whenever our opponent plays the oven defense, not oven, okay, oven, O-W-E-N. Whenever that happens, his bishop is on this longest diagonal, so he can afford to have this kind of a pawn structure on d7, e6 and f7, because this bishop will not be blocked. That's the point. The bishop is off the blocks on b7. That's a point to be noted, guys. So if you fianchetto the bishop, then you can have the pawn played to e6. It's a pretty normal move by black. Now what do we want to do? Well, modern lines, of course, go for this pawn pushing all the way, but I think I'm going to play more solid. I'm going to play the knight. I'm getting ready to castle. I think it's the time for his bishop to move, which he has done. Now look at the threat. Again, the juniors, I'm sure with the A batch, we also have the B batch guys, because this is a game session. Now always observe what the opponent is threatening. The opponent has pinned our knight to the king here, which means that there is only one defense and there are a couple of attackers for the e4 pawn. So it's a very important thing, guys, for you to realize. That's how things work. So just you have to make note of what your opponent played and what is the intention. So we clearly have to unpin the knight, either that or we bring in another defender. So I am so tempted to play queen e2. I could, if I play this move bishop to d2, he will first take, and then after I take, he can still get the pawn. So I guess here queen e2 will be better, because now my bishop is not getting shadowed by the queen. Let's go ahead and do that. He has taken it, so maybe he was so ready for it. And now our move clearly is b takes c3. This is not a bad pawn structure for us, simply because we got a bishop for the knight. I'm saying it again. We got bishop for the knight. Very important. If we get the bishop for the knight, it's slightly better in the opening. I'm saying the game is still going to be played for a long time now, but in the early stages, if you get bishop for knight, it's considered good. So he has castled. Should we? Well, I guess we can play with initiative and tempo and probably threaten this, because this will mean that he has to play h6 and we can provoke him into playing g5. Again, observe this. I'm going to play bishop g5. If he is careless, I'll be able to push the pawn and attack the pinned piece one more time. If he pushes h6, then I'm going to play bishop h4 and then maybe ask him to play g5, which will just probably expose his king a little bit. I hope you are getting my points. Always make notes of how I'm making my plan. Just don't watch the game for the sake of it. Enjoy. So what is our plan, guys? Our plan is that I want to play the bishop to g5 and then provoke him into playing not just h6 but also g5, because I always have this move e5 into play. So I'm going to, there was another possibility of me playing bishop a3 and attacking the rook, but that's very easy to meet by just pushing the pawn to d6. I don't want that. The bishop is much more influential on this g5 square. So he has played h6. Our opponent is playing really very fast, something that you should not do in a classical time control. It's 15 plus 15. What's the rush? But our opponent is playing fast. So maybe there are two reasons. One, that he is playing fast, which he shouldn't do. The other reason is that maybe he knows the line. Maybe he has seen this position before. He has analyzed this. That's why he knows the moves and he's playing fast. There are two reasons why he's probably playing so fast. And mind you, he is just as high rated as we are. He is also 1923. So it's going to be a good fight. Now our plan, if you remember, was always to just extend the pin. So I'm going to just do that. And I want him to play g5. And he has. And he is not even taking time into thinking about these moves. I wonder. So his king is clearly not safe at the moment. I can tell you with some guarantee that his king is not super safe. I have got the knight that can come into play with a sacrifice for 2 pawns if I want. The bishop is aiming for the h7 square and our queen can anytime come onto the desired squares. So this is not exactly what I think he should have done. Now here is the thing. I could go for the knight for 2 pawns if I want to play aggressive, and then maybe push this e5 pawn. So, well, this is interesting. And he is Candyman. Our opponent's name is Candyman. And well, he's got decent connection, but he seems a hasty player to me, at least. This is damn interesting. Now, definitely the seniors over here, if they are watching, they'll like me to sacrifice. And the point is, he will realize that his king is actually quite exposed, especially if I make the knight sacrifice for 2 pawns, and the bishop will sit pretty on g5 with the threat of e5 still on. So I'm very tempted to do that, and I am going to take that into account. So knight takes g5, h takes g5, bishop takes g5, pinning it, and then pushing e5. Well, if he plays d6, I'm still going to play that, because after pawn takes, I'll take back with the pawn, and so the knight still remains in pin. So I have done that, and we will see if he is impatient player, so he's just playing very fast. So I don't think that was a great idea of exposing the king. So he probably now he has nothing, but he has to take this. If he doesn't take this sacrifice now, I wonder what else he will do. That's certainly not done. Again, my mantra, those who are watching this, is that you have to take time and then play. Don't play hasty chess. If you have a longer time control, then use the time. If you remember, the starting time was 15 minutes, and now our opponent has 15 minutes 47 seconds still left. But what's the point? He's already exposed his king. He's playing hastily. I'm not saying that he is not a good player, but at least think and then play. I encourage the young players, those who want to improve their chess, to think and play. Think and play. So I'm sure that you all are excited about this sacrifice. The thing about this is that people lack patience. Now let's go and check his stats meanwhile that he's thinking. In classical, he is 1923. I'm sure you're looking at this rating, guys. 1923. But look at his rating. Rapid game 1825, and in the blitz games his rating is 1654. So clearly you can see there is a pattern, and his bullet rating is 1478. So you can clearly see that there is a definite pattern in his thought. The game, as it reduces in time, he just plays hastier and hastiest. I don't know. There is a definite pattern you can see. So my point is, if you have no time, then why play 15 plus 15? You should only play 15 plus 15 when you have enough time at hand. So this is not an excuse that I had to rush into the moves because I did not have enough time. Nobody forced you to play 15 plus 15. So you should think and play. That's why when I encourage you to play at home, was play when you have time. 15 plus 15, you should have about an hour with you. Then only you should play. Let's look at his connection. It's still a pretty decent connection, it shows. And what connection we have is, I believe, a very good connection. So now I can only wonder what he is thinking about, because earlier he had nothing to think about. So maybe this sacrifice has got him to think for the first time. But I think the situation clearly is already better for white. But at least he's thinking now. By the way, meanwhile that we get a move in by him, we intend to play a tournament tomorrow. So the A batch guys, I believe our student Vihang will create a tournament. He said that he'll pass the details on our WhatsApp group. You can do that. It should start at 6 o'clock, and you can keep the time control as 5 plus 3 or 5, whatever it is. Should be wrapped up in an hour. And then I would probably be just playing for fun, but I would like to see who in the A batch wins. So that's an important thing. Keep a password for the tournament. Let's see how that goes. So we want to play a tournament tomorrow for the A batch guys. And if this goes well, then we can implement that for the B batch as well. It is black to play. It is not white to play. Yes, all those who want to join, those who belong to Vaidya's chess up, those who all want to join may join. There's no problem. Finally, we have a move, and the move is very surprising. Our opponent has actually not taken the knight. And why on earth is that? Now we have got lots to calculate, guys. There is a lot of calculation now. OMG, a lot of calculation, guys. Because the thing is, here there is knight takes h7. He will then probably pick up our bishop, and then knight takes f8. We can win this exchange. Is that not the best? Because after knight takes h7, we will be attacking his queen. So queen has to take the bishop, and then we can play knight takes f8 and king takes f8, and we are winning the exchange. We don't want to just go back knight f3 passively attacking the queen. I don't think that's a sensible idea. We better go for the knight takes f7, h7. So let me show that to you. Knight takes h7. Queen will have to take the bishop, otherwise we will take the queen. And after that, knight takes f8, and then king takes f8. Will be an exchange up with the king totally exposed. I really like what I see here. Is that good? Well, I suppose the other thing is, after this king takes, and there is this if the king takes, there's always this discovered check and taking the queen. So I'm sure after knight takes h7, if he is again not hasty, that is, depends on whether he still is going to play a hasty chess. No, he did the thing. However, I have a trap in mind for him now. Let's attack the queen and hope that he comes on h5. No, he does not want to come on h5. Because our queen will take. So now we could play knight takes f8, king takes f8, or maybe we could play g3 first. Do we do that? Should we do that? Well, we have to take the rook. There's no doubt about that. And as expected, he immediately took there. Now we have a lot of good moves. We could castle. He has queen g5 check then. We can castle short. But I don't think we need to castle in this game at all now. Somehow I feel that we have a great initiative here. Why not play g3? This particular pawn is well covered. He has attacked it twice, but we have defended it twice. So that's not the issue here. I want this pawn is very weak. So let's do this g3 and get initiative on the queen here. This is not looking great for black. The knight on b8 and a8. Okay, I will answer that question. Someone asked me about how to join the WhatsApp group. I'll definitely let you know. At the moment, there is a sudden need for our opponent to think. We are already 3 points up. That's why the statistics are important. 1923. The rapid rating is 1825. The blitz rating is 1654. The bullet is 1478, and he doesn't play ultra bullet at all. Okay, so he has covered that. And guess what? We can again probably play f4. and gain an initiative on the queen. That is really good. Of course, we must be mindful of the fact this pawn is pinned, otherwise bishop takes rook. We have to be mindful of such things. This is a very important plan. I hope juniors are learning here. Always watch out for such things. The pawn on e4 is practically pinned because bishop can take the rook. Got to keep those things in mind. h4 is another suggestion, but f4 is good because this is in the same file as the king. So maybe at some stage we can play rook f1. Okay, so let's do that. What are his potential squares? He could go here attacking c3, but that's exactly what I actually want. So that I could play this move queen and later aim for h6. Oh, he went back. That's a big surprise. Big surprise, I'm telling you. So I could short castle here and get a quick move on this f1. I have no problems in playing f5 the next move, get it exchanged, and the rook will look at the king. Wonderful indeed. The point is that his king got exposed. This knight on b8 and rook on a8, I wonder what's up with those two pieces. He's not just using his two pieces. Knight on b8 and rook on a8. Underutilization of resources. Now he played this so that he could play knight d7, but I don't think I'm going to give him that wonderful opportunity. I am going to push f5 and I'm going to take here. And I'm going to take on f7 with a check and fork with the help of the pawn. I hope the points are very clear. The opponent, I don't think he analyzes it that much. So the pawn will take on e6. Then rook takes f7 check. Now you would appreciate that long-term strategy of putting the rook on f1. I'm sure that you now understood that. We always wanted the rook on the f file. That's why we pushed f4. We could have attacked the queen by playing h4 as well. But I think f4 was better there. That's the point to note. Okay, so he has declined the particular capture. So he says that no, I don't want to take it. The question then is, do we want to take it? Now we could definitely do that. Or else we could play f6, creating a long-term plan, gaining of course the tempo on the queen, and then always controlling the crucial e7 and g7 squares. There could be checkmate possibilities. Yes, I'm going to do that with the rook support. And also for the rook, then you have the move like rook f5 and then doubling up the rooks. Plus there is always a possibility of the queen coming into play. Now, how about getting a breakthrough? I would so love my pawn on e4 not to be there. I would so love that. What are the ways in which I could exploit this? So I would want him to take so that I could push. I would love my rook over here, but cannot do that right now. So what are the other possibilities? Mind you, if the queen is here, that's mate. So that's why this pawn on f6 is such a dangerous one. What's the possible route for the rook? If I double up, I have this scope of playing the rook here, then here, and then here. I am just tempted to do that. The idea is, of course, doubling up But then of course I have this, and then with queen d2 I can aim for this weak pawn. The h6 pawn is so weak, guys. H6 pawn, very weak. H6. Let's see. We are down to 4 minutes, guys. Time. But of course, we must not forget that it is 15 plus 15. So every move gives us 15 seconds. That's a lot of time. That means 4 moves. If we play 4 moves very fast, we get a minute. This pawn is a monster, I can tell you that. This pawn on f6 is big time. Well, they don't have to be pre-moves, but they have to be quick moves. Anytime you make a move, you get 15 seconds. It doesn't have to be pre-moves. You can utilize a second or two. It's almost a minute. So far, I'm happy that we have maintained that lead of 3 points. We are an exchange up here. We have 2 rooks and a minor piece. He has rook and 2 minor pieces. Well, that was always thought about, that move. But the problem is that that knight has no scope. At the moment, the knight has attacked the pawn with the queen. So we are definitely going to double up. But that knight has no scope here. There is no scope for this knight. No scope, and this will be a disaster if it takes it back. So observe how a player should look at the position. Now we have 2 rooks covering this f7, and that's a brilliant thing. One of my plans now will involve me playing the queen to d2 and then pushing this rook here. Now that is definitely bad. For some reason I can sense it is bad. I know for sure it is bad. He just probably wants to exchange here and open up the position. But what if I just push the pawn? Well, no, but then he will have knight c5. Interesting. Can we do this now? Because rook is also checkmate. What happens if his knight comes anyway on? Can we play bishop to b5, provoke this move? A lot of possible options, guys. Or do we want something even more aggressive? Shall we play this move? Now it is getting interesting here. What do we want to do? Let's get this bishop exchanged, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. So I have already made a pre-move here. He's taken this. I don't know why he has done that. Why did he do that? Why did he do that? Did he just blunder a piece? He's so hasty, he's just blundering pieces now. I'm not that bad, buddy. Did he just give the bishop? Okay, so now he plays knight f6. I really wonder what's up with this strategy. Now here we can think about many options. First of all, we can go for rook takes f6, queen takes, rook takes f7 check, but there's no mate there. So maybe not now. We will play probably queen f3. Yeah, I like that. So maybe we are pushing against f7 very solid. That's right. I don't know why he took it hastily with that bishop there. Maybe he thought there was some trap, but there was clearly nothing. And now this knight is also practically pinned because now we have rook takes f7. If queen takes f7, queen takes f7 is mate. He thought maybe he could attack the queen and maybe get the rook, but that's never happening. It was clearly very bad choice. Okay, so Kshitij is also with us. Hello, Kshitij. Now, it's amazing. Of course, I've shared this so many times, guys. It is an amazing thing how players start thinking when they have a lost position. Now, our opponent has a lost position, and now he thinks it is right time to think. I wonder, how regularly does that happen? How regularly? Tell me. Once you have a lost position, then you think that you should have thought. Amazing. This knight is attacked 3 times, defended once. If the knight moves, then rook takes f7 is a big check. Plus there is always this bishop d3. This bishop is still waiting to come in the game. And what was that about? So he is now saying that I'll take your queen. But then hang on. Rook takes f6. If he takes our queen, we take the queen. Pawn takes. So we win a piece. Is that the idea? Do we win a piece? Why is he playing like this? Rook takes. Then if he takes, rook takes, pawn takes, pawn takes. So we will have a bishop and he will have a rook. We will have our rook as well. Let's bring it back. Yeah, let's bring it back. If he wants to do this, I have a check first. Let's not forget that. And then I have queen f4. The point is, if he thinks that, oh, I don't worry about that, I'll be back at f3. If he pushes now, I have this bishop takes e2. Oh, watch it, guys. Watch it. I told you, just saying this. She is giving me pieces. What makes you think that Candy Man is a girl? This is interesting. Why is Candyman a girl? And resignation. So our opponent kept 6 minutes for himself and he resigned. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Okay, anyway, I was just telling you how I had that e2 square covered and he just offered everything. What a game that was. He resigned. The good thing is that he did not offer a draw. So that's the best part. He did not offer a draw. Otherwise, that's very irritating. And Jay can tell us how many points we got here. 16 points. Jay, what's our new rating now? Jay is the first to spot this normally. Okay, now you can have your chat going on a while. I will get ready for our tactics as usual. So let us try and do some tactics. The first one is white to play, I believe. Let me go ahead and set everything properly, guys. Okay. So here is the first one, and this one is white to play. Let's look at the position. Queen for both the rooks for both, 3 minor pieces, and white has got 6 pawns, black has also got 6 pawns. Material is balanced. Do we go for this? Do we go for this sacrifice? Or do we go for this? Or do we go for castle? 2 minutes be fine? I guess so. Start thinking. Till 7 o'clock. We will be here till 7, guys. So what's up? Seniors, wait until Datta, you're new. Wait for the time to become 0. Only then the A batch guys can answer. So Datta, you should wait. Wait for the time to turn to 0. The juniors, try that. So Queen H2 is what some juniors are saying. Okay, so golden arrow. It is now below a minute, so I'm going to pull up the chat window, see what your friends are saying. Namish is saying red arrow. Bunch of Lions is saying golden arrow. So Datta, Ghone, then Samartha, all the seniors, wait for another 25 seconds, then type the complete line, whatever it is that you see. Avnish More also thinks that it's golden arrow. By the way, the seniors do mention the name of the tactic. It's very important you mention the name of the tactic. Time is up. Seniors, go ahead. Tell me what you feel. So Jay is saying golden. Jay is saying golden. If queen h2, he saves the bishop, then queen takes h7, checkmate. Okay, Manas Zope thinks green arrow. Kshitij is saying queen h2, fork on d6, mate on h7. And we are waiting for Samarth Nijapkar. Yeah, he's saying also the yellow arrow. Okay, he says it's golden yellow, whatever it is. Queen h2. So the correct answer, as usual, let me come on cam to tell you. The correct answer, the golden arrow. There are 2 threats. First, the piece capture. And if not that, then h7 is checkmate. So congratulations all those who said the golden arrow. Well done. Let me go ahead and actually play that on leeches. Here we go. So we are going to execute this queen h2, and now he has played rook here just to save the checkmate. So that means there is a free piece to be had. Congratulations. Very, very good. The next one is black to play. I'm going to give you the options. Both, first the material, both have got queens, both have got two rooks. There is a minor piece. We have got 6 pawns. White has got also 6 pawns. So are we going to play the check? Are we going to play this check? Are we going to play the rook? Or are we going to play this check? Lot of options, guys. Lot of options. And your time starts. Seniors, wait. Don't start typing. Wait for the time to come to 0. Hello, Shriram. Think about it. So Manas Zope this time thinks the blue arrow. Yes, materially it is an equal position. We'll be with you in about 20 seconds. Enjoy the background music. It is under a minute. Let me pull up the chat screen to show you what your friends are saying. Hello Raj, too late. Why are you so late? Okay, blue arrow, blue arrow, blue arrow. Everyone is after the blue arrow. And Parth has been kind enough to actually draw an arrow in the blue box. A white arrow in the blue box. Okay, Namish is saying rook e1, sacrificing the rook. But what's the advantage if we sacrifice? Don't just look at ways to give up pieces. Does it have an advantage? And the time is up. Seniors, come on. Kshitij is the first. Queen e3 check. So they like the blue arrow. And why is that, by the way? Vihang is saying discovered attack on the rook. Okay, so it's a check. Discovered attack on the rook. Kshitij just said attack on the rook. Nijapkar says king h1, queen takes a1. Queen takes a1. Nijapkar. After queen e3 check, it can be bishop takes a1. Jay is also saying agrees with the blue. Absolutely, let me come on camera now to tell you that you are the winners, the blue arrow. And correction, Nijapkar, it cannot be queen takes a1 because queen is on e3. It's bishop takes a1. Okay, wonderful. Let me go to leeches and actually play that move. Here you go. So I'm going to play the blue move, and then there is bishop takes a1. Fantastic. The next one is not black to play, it is white to play. Let's analyze the position. Queen for both, two rooks for both, a minor piece for both, and white has got, whoa, 7 pawns, black has got 7 pawns. Material is balanced. So do we go ahead and take, do we play the queen takes f6, Or the fourth option is, do we play the, what move shall I give here? Blue, I think this one is good. Do we play h5? All possible options. What do we do here? And your time starts. By the way, last time, Namish, you were wrong. So, Namish, we should not sacrifice the rook. You should learn these things now. What's happening here, guys? And the name of the tactic by seniors as well. Don't just give me the answer, but also go ahead and type the name of the tactic. When it's under a minute, let's pull up the chat window. Okay, so let me pull up the chat window. Orange, well, that's of course new. So golden arrow, red arrow, blue arrow, and I think we've got all colors. No, nobody voted for green yet. I don't know. A bunch of lions, blue arrow. Seniors, I hope you are ready, but then wait for another 25 seconds. By the way, what is that color you feel? Okay, some voting for green. Namish has voted for green. Seniors, what's your answer? Anu Datta, that is Shitish Datta's ID. Rook takes g7, queen takes g7, rook g1 pins the queen. Jay is also saying the same. Nijapkar agrees with that, and so does Rudra. Rudra, where were you? Okay, so the red arrow gets maximum votes because of the pin strategy. And what's up? They are correct again. So yes, it is the pin strategy. The queen will be pinned to the king. Notice on the G file there is a lot of action happening. So yes, it is correct. Let me play that on this particular Leech's app. So rook takes g7, and now don't exchange the queen. So don't exchange the queen. Now you have a beautiful move, rook g1, that pins the queen. This is really wonderful and supported by our king. So rook g1, and of course now we can go ahead and take the queen. Beautiful indeed. Amazing. Next, please. This time it is black to play. Position analysis, please. Both have got queens. Both have got minor piece. White has got 6 pawns and black has got 5 pawns. So white is a pawn up. So we are a pawn down because we are black to play here. So what is going to be our plan? Are we going to play this move? Are we going to play this move? Are we going to sacrifice the knight, or are we going to take this particular, what color is remaining? Blue. Are we going to take this bishop? Okay guys, your time starts. I'll be with you in a minute. Enjoy the background score. Okay. So a lot of votes for what? Golden arrow. There are people saying red arrow. Lot of variety and variations. What is the perfect move? The best move? Seniors, hold on to your thoughts for another 20 seconds. So Radhesh is also with us and he says, well, how can knight take g5? You mean after red? Radhesh, what's the color of your choice? Time is up, seniors. Okay, Kshitij just waits for the time to become 0. So the correct thing, they all say that knight f3 check. The golden arrow. Golden chrome arrow. Now that's a new one. Chrome arrow. Like as if I needed another word for that color. Golden, yellow, orange. Now what? Chrome. I don't know. Okay, so well, what's the complete line, seniors? I will not entertain just the word. I want the complete line, Chinmay. Knight f3 forking the queen and it's a double check. I will come on cam to say a few important things. Number one, what's chrome color? What's that? Chrome color? Anyway, I was hoping the answer will be either golden, yellow, orange, but now there is chrome color. Let me know what that is. Okay. However, back to the position. Every double check is powerful because it makes the king move. You cannot block a double check. So those who are saying knight f3 check, winning the queen, forking the queen, is it really forking the queen or will we get a checkmate? So it's very important. I'm saying this one more time. The power of the double check is that the king has to move. So if the king has to move, then are we getting a checkmate here? Let's go ahead and find out. This is the position. And now my point is that if there is a double check, the king has to move. And the difference between, I'm going to get rid of the wrong answers. Wrong. And now consider these two. Okay. The difference between these two is that if you give the green check, then the king will escape on g1. But if you give the golden arrow check, then knight controls g1, which means the king has only one square to go, which is h1. And then queen h2 is checkmate. Those who thought, Anay Avdhani, this is for you. Anay Avdhani, this is for you. You thought red because you thought discovered check and we will win the queen. But look what happens. If you, let me get rid of the arrows. If you play the red arrow, hoping that you will take the queen because it's a check, what happens is after this check, queen will come back and save the check with the support of the king and the pawn. So Anna, I'm sure you understood that. Okay. And the A batch guys, I'm sure you loved it because of the checkmate thing. So we don't have to take the queen. I repeat, we don't have to take the queen. If we give this double check, check with the knight and check with the queen, the knight controls g1 and so king h1 is forced. And then we will play queen h2 checkmate. This is just amazing and I hope that you've understood the point. Let me do this. So knight f3 check. We don't have to win the queen here because now, as I said, this will be checkmate. The knight did not let the king escape on g1. Checkmate. Now, honestly, how many people got that? Bye. Chitish, thanks for joining. See us sometime later. And now next position, please. So Jay, what is the situation here? It is white to play. Let me cover that. Yes. Both have got queens. Both have got two rooks. Both have got three minor pieces. 5 pawns. Black has 4 pawns. So we have an advantage of a pawn. But the king's position is precarious. So what do we do here? Do we go for the queen sacrifice? Do we play rook takes knight? Do we go for the h3? Or do we go for, no, 2 green ones? Or do we go for the queen takes bishop? Please let me know what you feel, guys. Jay is right, we are +1. Remember, the power in the last position was about the double check. This probably will be the last position. Vihang could tell us more about the tournament tomorrow. And yes, the others, if you wish to join the WhatsApp group, you will have to send me a WhatsApp saying hi, and I will add your contact number and then have you added to the WhatsApp group. Just give me your complete information, those who want to join our WhatsApp group. It's under a minute. Let me pull up the chat. So, black. Radesh, what's happening to you? Black? There is no black arrow. Yes, so bunch of lions, what you have to do is that you can send a WhatsApp message to me and I will have that number added to our WhatsApp group. Okay, seniors. So Jay is saying blue arrow, sir. Rook takes e7. Jay is saying rook takes e7, knight takes e7, and queen takes e7 is mate. Nijapkar agrees. Chessmate says rook takes e7 check, knight takes, queen takes e7. But guys, after rook takes e7, what if he plays king f8? What do we do then? Majority votes are for blue. What happens after rook takes e7 check, he plays king f8? Then what happens? Then people are saying queen takes f7 is mate. Correct? Absolutely. Wonderful. So yes, the blue arrow. Absolutely, the blue arrow. So let me go ahead and play that. Rook takes e7. Knight takes e7. Queen takes e7 is checkmate. What a lovely session this has been, guys. This was really enjoyable. The game was fun. The tactics were fun. It was very meaningful participation by all of you. I enjoyed presenting it to you. And I said that we will probably go in for a tournament. So tomorrow we are going to meet at 6 o'clock. Possibly playing a tournament tomorrow, and if that tournament goes well, we will have this set up also for the B batch guys. Okay, so I hope you had a wonderful session. let me know, and stay home, stay safe. Bye bye.